Ahoy everyone, it's another Mordheim battle report, and this time the Ogres taking on the Night Wolves of Middenheim. The Ogres entering Mordheim through the east gate and then heading north to the Temple of Sigmar. Here the winning Warband will get an extra save against injury rolls for the heroes after the battle sequence. This is how the Warband looks so far, but in the last game the leader Rustam has suffered a deep wound, so he misses this game. And therefore Gorlok Black Powder will be in charge this game. He's a mountain guide with sword and harpoon crossbow. And he is accompanied by 3 Youngbloods, the Demon Girl with a 2-handed weapon, a Lucky Charm and a skill Strongman. Then Azada, the Orc-Blood, with a double-handed weapon and a Lucky Charm as well. And the new acquisition, Halana, armed with Sword and Iron Fist. So she has an extra attack and can parry. Also along for the ride is the Halfling Scout Alexander Clemelton, and this is how the motley crew is composed for this fight against the Night Wolves. Middenheim is led by their Captain Gunnar Wolfsbrecher. He's armed with a halberd, heavy armor and wolf cloak. Also has the skill Strike to Injure and got Scarred, so he causes fear and is therefore immune to fear. On his right is his son, Jupp Gunnarsson, a champion with double-handed weapon and a wolf cloak. And to his right is the second champion, Ylva Feuerskind. She has 2 axes and a wolf's cloak and has the skill Step Aside. In front of her is her daughter Mikko, a youngblood with spear and Step Aside, and on top of the building on the right is the last youngblood, Hagen Hammerschlag, with a hammer and shield. On the stairs is a pit fighter, she has an additional attack. And down there we have the henchmen, 3 marksmen, then 2 swordsmen with Morningstar, those have an extra attack. A single swordsman with +1 initiative, and 2 swordsmen with double-handed weapons who have extra weapon skill. And on the far left is the Elf Ranger. The scenario is breakthrough, and it will be the Ogres who try to break through the Middenheimers and get to the other side of the table, advancing from this table edge. So they have a couple of ways to go. The Demon Girl and Halana will try to go through the left street, facing some Morning Stars, and Azada will try to go through the center, over the planks, and maybe break through. And Gorlok on the right side, he will be the leader of this Warband today, tries through the right. Opposing them stands Marksman Miri. She has +1 strength, and maybe she can pack a punch in close combat. Then there are all the 2-handed weapon boys, along with the pit fighter. Hopefully they can bring down Gorlok, accompanied by the Elf Ranger, Ormil. Then in the center, Mikko will take the brunt of the attack with the spear and hopefully get support by her mother Ylva. And back there we have Captain Gunnar, who will maybe support them, or where the heat of the battle will dictate his presence. On the right side, the 2 Morningstar henchmen with an extra attack. Hopefully will be enough to keep the Demon Girl and Halana at bay. And the Halfling Scout Alexander Clemelton also snuck into the ruins. So those are roughly the warbands for each side. And the first turn will go to the Ogres as the attackers. Azada making the first move on the planks onto the watchtower. She will drive through the middle. Or maybe she can take a detour and visit Miri, the marksman. Gorlok stayed where he was because he can shoot, so why not? With strength 5, it's not a bad idea. And coming over to the other side of the table, Alexander Clemelton getting ready to fire at Ylva Feuerskind, who's barely at range. And the Demon Girl with Halana, they are seeking cover in this abandoned and destroyed building, and maybe they can slip by. Well, it's all for movement. Going into shooting phase, so starting with Alexander Clemelton, he will need a 4 to hit, it's just long range, and with a 6 he hits her, but a 1 is not enough to wound. And then Gorlok will also fire a shot at the pit fighter. She is also over half range, so needing a 5 to hit. He hits on a 6, so strength 5, needing 3s to wound. Another 6 is a critical hit. So, and it's a 5, so that means 2 wounds instead of 1. And rolling on the injury table, a 6 takes the pit fighter out in the first round of shooting. Good shot from Gorlock Black Powder. Losing the pit fighter in the first round of shooting is an unexpected turn of events, but Gunnar remains steadfast, nothing can't be salvaged. On the left hand side, henchmen spread out, dive, climb the stairs, maybe a diving attack would be in order. Zep retreated a little bit, so he can see if someone sneaks by in the building or shooting down the street. Because down here there's a little passage where maybe the demon girl or Halana could slip through, so this needs to be guarded. In the center, Ilva and Miko remain on the planks, because Ilva has a wolf cloak, so it shouldn't be a hit every turn. And maybe Gunnar will come to support the two. And over at the Green Tower, the two-handed weapon faction spread out, because the ogres are quite quick and could sneak by either on the left or right hand side, so they have to guard the position. Miri and the Elf Ranger are preparing for the shooting phase. But starting the shooting phase on the other side of the table, Zep will shoot at Alexander Cleveldon. And he would have needed a 6, so he fails. Then Miri shooting at Azada. She needing a... well, she hits on a 6. And needing a 5 to wound. No, 3 is not enough. Then going over to Hannah. On the long range, she sees her, but she's in cover. So, well, the 1 is also a failure. Going over to Orme, the Elfen Ranger shooting at Gorlock, hitting on a 4, but needing a 5 as well. That's a failure. Alright, that's it. Next turn. Gorlock advancing and maybe have a stroll through the garden-esque scenery. Because with his ranged weapon he has to reload and can only fire every other turn. So he advances, as did Azada. She charged Miko. Though Miko can strike first with a spear, but who cares? Then, on the other side, Halana just looked past the building and charged in to the guys with Morning Stars and 2 attacks. And the Demon Girl is close by to prevent all alone checks and be there for support. Shooting phase, Alexander Cleveldon firing back at Zep, needing a 4 to hit. And a 3 is a failure. Alright, on to close combat. Halana attacking with 2 attacks. She needs a 4 to hit. The first one misses, and the second attack on a 5 hits. So just 1 hit, needing 4 to wound. And no wound. So the henchman with the Morning Star can strike back. 2 attacks hitting on 3s. And Halana could parry. Doesn't make it. So 2 wounds on a 5. 1 comes through and it knocks her down. Azada also charged the Youngblood Miko, but she has a spear and can strike first. Both have weapon skill 2, so forced to hit. The spear misses, so Azada can strike back. Hitting on a 4, and with strength 5, 2 to wound. Ooh, it's a critical wound. And a 3 is 2 wounds instead of 1. So on the injury table, knocked down and stunned, so Miko could fall down and has to pass an initiative check, and a 5 is a failure, so she falls down. D3 hits, that's 2 hits, and it's 4 inches high, so strength 4 needing 3s to wound, that would be 2 wounds. And 1 and a 5 means she dies from the fall. That's a kill for Azada. Henchman Tristan wants to charge Gorlock, so leadership check, and with 11 he's frightened and stays where he is. Life did pass 2 initiative checks, 1 for sensing her and 1 for the diving attack, and he is accompanied by a henchman with Morningstar. And over there, against Halana, Hagen also charged in, 3 attacks with strength 3 against toughness 4. Maybe they could kill her. And Gunnar advancing over the planks. He's sensing it could be trouble in the middle for Ylva fighting against Azada. And then over at the garden, all 3 two-handed weapon guys getting in position to fight against Gorlock. Coming into the shooting phase, the Elf Ranger firing at Gorlock and fails. On to the next one, Miri shooting at Gorlock as well. Hits on a 4 and wounding on a 6. It's a critical. And getting the critical hit die. And she rolls a 1. So, just ignoring armor saves. Gorlock loses 1 wound. Zep also firing again at Alexander Clemelton. He needs a 6 to hit and fails miserably. On to close combat. Starting with life against the Demon Girl, he hits on a 3, but the Lucky Charm will prevent the hit. So going over to the Henchman with Morningstar, 1 hit on a 4, and Strength 4 against Toughness 4, needing Force to Wound, and 1 wound caused. Demon Girl striking back against the Morningstar, hitting on a 5, and wounding on a 4, so no armor saves allowed, and she takes him out. Morningstar with strength 3 now, needing 5s to wound. And a 2 and a 4 is not enough to wound. Then Hagen with the hammer, he scores a 6, it's a critical hit. And on the critical hit table, a 1 and a 2 just says the enemy can strike back, so just 1 wound lost. Ylva avenging her daughter and charging Azada, 2 attacks with axes, needing 3s, and 1 hit, because the other one is prevented by the Lucky Charm. Strength 3, needing 5s to wound, that's a wound, so 1 wound lost. Then Azada strikes back, needing 4s to hit, hits on a 6, and strength 5, needing 2s to wound, and she would be knocked down, but she has step aside, failed, and the initiative check for not falling down is passed. Gorlock attacked Tristan, so he has to take a leadership test anew, and a 7 is passed. That's it for movement. All the other ones are in close combat, so on to shooting phase. Alexander Clemen shooting at Zep again, long range and in cover, so a 5 would be needed, and a 4 is a failure. The Demon Girl against life, he attacks first, higher initiative, he hits on a 4, and needing a 5 to wound. It's a 4, so fails to wound. The Demon Girl can strike back, it's a 4 to hit, she hits, and life can parry. He parries on a 6. It's a draw again. The Morningstar against Alana. 2 attacks, hitting on a 6, so no parry available. And would be a 5 to wound, so no wound. Hagen hitting on a 5. And needs a 5 to wound as well. No parry by Alana, no reroll for the parry. And as I said, needing 5s to wound. And a 1. So Alana striking back, needing force to hit the Morningstar, 2 hits, and then with strength 3, needing 3s to wound, and both did not wound, so it's a draw all over again on the streets down here. Ylva, the champion, against Azada, 2 attacks, 1 hit, and needing a 5 to wound, no wound, so Azada can strike back, needing a 4 to hit, and fails to hit. Alright. Then coming over to Gorlock, Black Powder. He charged Tristan, so he can strike first, 2 attacks with a sword, hitting 2 times, and strength 4, needing 3s to wound. Both are wounded, that's not good for the Nightwolf. And a 5 means he's been stricken down. Charges against Gorlock. First one is Yup, the champion, he makes it, the fear check, and then the henchman, Isolde, With an 8, she fails, so the champion Jupp Gunnarsson is alone against Gorlock Black Powder. Not looking good. Marksman Miri moved up to shoot at Halfling Scout. And then the center, the captain Gunnar Wolfsbrecher, takes it upon himself to knock the Orc Blood down the planks. And over there's nothing special happened, because everyone is in melee. Going to shooting phase, Omel, the Elf Ranger, fires at Alexander Clementon. He misses, long range, and cover would have needed a 4, and Zepp will shoot again, and he needs a 6, and a 5 is a failure. Then going over to Miri, she moved up, and Alexander Clementon is in cover, so she moved, long range, and targeted cover, so it's a 7, which means a 6 followed by a 4, and that's a double 6, so she hit Alexander, and then it's strength 3 for the bow against toughness 2, so a 3 would all she need to wound him, and she rolls a 1. Alexander Clementon survives. Starting the fight with Gorlock, so the Ogre can strike first and hits on a double 6 with authority, and wounding on a 3, 2 wounds and even a critical. It's a 1, so ignores armor saves, and 2 injury rolls, and a 5 and a 2, just taking him out with ease. Captain Gunnar, enraged by the cry of agony of his son, trying to slay Azada, and he hits on a 3, and he wounds her on a 4, so she tumbles to the ground, maybe initiative check, and she falls down all the 4 inches, which means 3 hits at strength 4, taking 1 wound as well, and this takes her out, so vengeance from the captain. Life against the Demon Girl, again hitting first. He fails to hit, and the Demon Girl strikes back and fails as well. So it's a draw. Then against Halana, starting with the Morningstar, again 2 attacks, 1 hit, which can't be parried, and leaving a 5 to wound. He doesn't wound as well again. Then Hagen hits on a 4. And no parry, and the parry reroll fails again. And he needs a 5 to wound as well. And he fails to wound. So Halana striking back, this time against Hagen, the hero. And hitting 2 times. Strength 3, needing force to wound. That's a 6, it's a critical and a normal wound. So the critical is 2 wounds and +2 to the injury roll. That's not bad for Hagen. He has a shield save left, but fails it. So 2 injury rolls and +2 means the 4 is a 6. Hagen is taken out. Gorlock going for the next kill. He attacks Isolde and she passes a fear check. So she stands steadfast, but doesn't look good for her. That's all movement, going to shooting phase. Alexander Clementon again, shooting at Zepp, needing a 5 to hit, and a 4 is a miss again, so nothing. Then directly coming over to Gorlock, 2 attacks, hitting on 3s, 1 hit, and wounding on 3s, it's a wound, no armor saves. 6 kill. That's number 4 for Gorlock Black Powder. And the never-ending story, life hits the Demon Girl and fails to wound. Then the Demon Girl strikes back. She needs a 4 to hit, so that's a failure. On to Halana against the Morningstar. 2 attacks from the Morningstar, 1 hit. And Halana could parry, and she parries with a 4, so she can strike back now. 2 attacks, needing force to hit, 2 hits, and force to wound. It's a 5 and a 6 again, and it's a critical, so just ignoring armor saves. And yeah, shield doesn't help, and a 6 takes him out. And it's not looking good for the Nightwolves. Halana can just walk through to the other edge, and Gorlock as well. He just can march on, and there's nothing that can stop him, so the Ogres just basically have it, and therefore the Nightwolves concede. So the Ogres won, and they were the underdogs with a Warband rating of 97 against the Nightwolves 166. So they even get an extra experience. That's pretty good because the Ogres gathering experience at half the rate. So every extra one is appreciated. And even got some kills. So this is how they leveled up. Gorlock killed 3 men. He was the winning Warband leader this time, and for surviving and the underdog bonus he actually got 3.5 points of experience, and learned a new skill, which is resilient. Helps being an ogre and in close combat, so that's nice. The demon girl gathered enough experience to level up as well. She learned a new skill as well, and she chose step aside. And Azada is at 3.5, so after the next game, if she survives, she will level up as well. And the new Youngblood, Halana, leveled up as well. She got 2 kills and survived, and the underdog bonus helped, so now she has initiative 3. And Alexander Cleverton didn't kill anything but underdog bonus and survived, so he got 2 experience points, and now he knows the skill Quick Shot. And of course Azada survived because the special ability of the place, the Temple of Sigma, helped that she didn't get an injury. Then in the exploration phase they found 4 Weirdstone, a bowmaker with 2 short bows they sold immediately, and a corpse with a single gold crown. Then they sold 5 Weirdstone for 80 gold and banking it, so maybe in the next round they can hire a new Ogre Bull. And that's it for the motley crew. For the Nightwolves there happened some good and some bad things. First of all the henchmen survived, and Hagen survived as well, but he lost all his equipment because he was robbed. Jupp Gunnarsson suffered such a severe injury that is unclear if he can return to the Warband. For now he's gone, and maybe he will recover one day. As for the rest of the Warband, the marksman henchman leveled up and became a hero, choosing from the skills shooting and speed, and immediately learned the skill Quick Shot. And for the other heroes, Gunnar Wolfsbrecher leveled up as well, got an extra toughness. Mikko also leveled up, learned the skill Mighty Blow, and Hagen got a +1 leadership. In the exploration phase they found 2 Weirdstone and sold 3 altogether for 60 gold, then paid the upkeep for the hired swords, and bought a new hammer and shield for Hagen, and a new crossbow for the Red Hood, a new marksman hero. Then just taking a quick look at the campaign map. So by now everyone who took his turn won his match and claimed the territory. So next up are the Skaven. Let's see how they will fare. Therefore, please subscribe, stay tuned for the next match with the Skaven, and see you then.